Yes, good morning, everyone. It is another bright day. Thanks for viewing and following us and different topics we have been having this week. Today, we are privileged to have another interesting one, which I know it is not so much common in our ears. Usually it is you people talk about it, but sometimes not so much on the informed point of view. Yes. So Dr. Borisipek is my name, and I'm going to have, and we are privileged to have a guest today, Dr. Edmond Tambaki. Dr. Edmond Tambaki is a person who is going to tell us more about cancer. He's the one who is going to tell us about this topic, because this gentleman here, this doctor, has studied this more than you can think. The gentleman has been in the Buckingham University in the UK. It is a privilege to have somebody in the UK talk to us because he's skilled in it. The books are really heavy, although he's going to have to talk to us in a simplified way which we are going to understand. Masters of GIT. GIT, things to do with the gastrointestinal tract, or the stomach and the intestines, that field, and GIT oncology. Another master's in nutrition precision and nutrition genomics. Who else can talk to us apart from Dr. Edmond Tambaki? He has done a lot of research, not research of 1 day or 2 days or 2 hours or 3 hours, but the research of almost how many hours? 500? 5,000 contact hours. Not days, but contact hours. This is the right person to share with us about this cancer topic. He has done research here in Uganda and Kenya. Dr. Edmond, we are privileged to have you. Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
When someone looks at you, he does not see all those masters you have.
It's because I'm vegan. And so I look younger.
You look younger.
Exactly.
Masters of do you have those masters in Uganda before you went to you?
Probably.
Yes.
In Uganda, actually, we don't have that field, and in Buckingham, I'm doing that now. Yes. That is GIT in oncology, masters, then nutrition precision, nutrition genomics in oncology. So everything is written about cancer. Oncology means cancer.
The books are really scary. Okay. So, to begin with, first of all, Dr. Edmond, what is cancer? You know, when we hear the word cancer, it first of all scares us, even before we, as soon as the word cancer enters our ears, we get scared. What is cancer? Are there types of cancer? What is cancer generally?
Okay. Well, in a simplified way, cancer is these are abnormal cells in the body.
Abnormal cells.
Abnormal cells in the body. That's cancer. That's what you can say in the simplest form. Abnormal cells.
Abnormal cells.
Yes.
And what are the different types you can have?
Now, with the different types of cancer, there's different kinds of cancer. Actually, they attack different organs. Now, for instance, we have lymphomas. we look at lymphomas. Lymphomas, these are types of cancers which involve from lymph nodes.
Lymph nodes.
Yes.
Like, okay.
Lymph nodes
like,
in
Uganda,
Uganda, it's called
Bucket's lymphoma.
Yeah, Bucket's lymphoma. It's still in the lymph nodes.
Lymph nodes.
Lymphoma, it's under lymph nodes.
Okay.
In Uganda, it's called Ensanjav. Not Ensanjav. It's kind of like Ensanjav. You know, like when you get an injury, there is always that swelling either under your armpit or the bone. Those are lymph nodes.
Okay.
So lymph nodes, you know, these are our body's, you know, defensive mechanism. They capture infections, pathogens, bacteria, virus, and all that.
Okay.
So it to be cancerous, that means that the infection has overwhelmed the body, the immune system is down, so there is going to be an abnormal multiplication in the lymph node.
Okay.
So lymphoma comes in. Then another one is leukemia. Under leukemia, this is cancer which affects the bloodstream.
The blood.
Yes.
Cancer of the blood.
Cancer of the blood.
Okay.
Then we have also carcinomas. Carcinomas, these are cancers which affect like the lungs, the breast, the colon, the bladder.
Okay.
Mostly those ones are carcinomas. Then we have sarcomas. Now sarcomas are cancers that affect the fat tissues in the body, then bones and muscles. Those are
So we can have cancer of the lymph node, cancer of the blood, cancer
exactly.
of the fatty areas. Hey.
Yeah.
What of now this one where they say cancer of the breast, cancer of the those ones are which types now?
Now there we are talking about the cancer prefixes. Now cancer which affects the gland is adeno.
Okay.
That is the gland, adenocarcinoma.
Oh.
Now we are talking about the breast, adenocarcinoma.
Okay.
Adenocarcinoma in the that is in the lungs, in the colonies, and so on. Then we also have actually liposarcoma, that is cancer in the fats, lipofat, liposarcoma, and so on and so forth. In the bones is osteosarcoma.
Okay.
Yes. Because remember we talked of sarcoma. Sarcoma we have the fats, muscle, and the bones. So osteosarcoma, osteo bones, cancer the bones.
Okay.
Yes, and there are very many subtypes into that, but the most important thing is to know it's cancer. It has been diagnosed and you have cancer. Whatever the type of cancer, it's still cancer.
Thank you, Dr. Edmond. Now, what causes this cancer? Whether it is from the fat, whether it is of the liver, or what causes this cancer? It is something which we need to worry about. What causes cancer?
Wow, what causes cancer? Actually, there are quite a number of things that cause cancer. Very many things that cause cancer. Infections, we have bacteria, viruses, they all cause cancer. Then we have chemicals, they cause cancer. We have radiation, causes cancer. We have genes, it can be hereditary. That is gene mutation. Then also our feeding can lead to cancer. So cancer, anything can cause cancer as long as the immune system is down. The food you're eating, it's actually the food you eat, it can either give you health or disease. You eat junk food, at the end of the day, you're going to harvest what you have been, you know.
Doctor, can you try to explain more on those points, especially on those causes? For example, you said food. Let's begin with food. Yes.
You see, the way food causes cancer, it's in very many ways. One, our foods are heavily sprayed with the chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, and all that. So the chemicals that you're going to ingest in, they are going to jeopardize your immune system. Okay? And many times, besides even the chemicals, but also when we eat high-fat diets, you are also prone to develop cancers, depending on the body organ that is going to
eating too much
junk food, like sweets, a lot of sweets, a lot of oily foods.
Okay.
A lot of actually there is also a tendency of people who are meat eaters to have high chances of developing cancer, because now with the meat, these animals are injected antibiotics and all that, then hormones.
Hey.
Yes.
And the way how I love meat.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay,
meat,
so
meat
food.
is so bad. Yes, food.
Meat is not something you need. Meat of everything.
Meat of every. Actually, when you're diagnosed with the cancer, I always advise patients to stay away from that. Poultry and dairy products.
Hey.
Poultry and dairy, everything that we need. I've been vegan for 22 years.
You don't take meat?
No. I don't do meat. I don't do actually poultry, dairy products, and also refined food. When we talk about meat, rather food as a cause of cancer. We also talk about refined products. Many times, we are living in this society whereby it's A class. Everything that we need has to be packed. You go to the supermarket, you buy this and that, but try to read the labels, the instructions that they have.
So how do you enjoy your money? Me, I thought in UK when you're there. I thought.
No, but there is, there is vegan food. Though we can't run away from chemicals. Even right now, the air we are breathing in, cars, are passing by, they are packed in there. So the fumes that they are releasing, full of sulfur, arsenic, and all.
When you get your money and you're happy, you want to have a meal, you want to be with maybe your loved one.
I cook my food at home. I prepare my meals from home. Going out doesn't mean that you have to go and eat food. And if you have to eat, you have to be, so picky, because life has no spare.
No spare part.
No. Life has no spare. So you
Dr.
have to.
Edmond, I'm so surprised. For us here, we know even if there's a family which is supposed to cook food like at church, you have to cook meat. If it is Christmas time, you have to enjoy. People have Christmas. They all eat. For Muslims, they have to prepare pilau plus meat. For some people who are not Christians, they can have all types of foods, but meat is always one of them.
Okay, meat, let us not emphasize more of meat, because even you can be, let me say, eating your natural food, but the way you prepare it. You may eat your beans, but you are heavily spicing them. Because many times we burn our oil, the cooking oil.
Yes.
We over fry food, that's for instance, maybe potatoes, you turn them into chips or French fries. And
yes, there is this one which we are buying. My son always takes me to the supermarket and says, I need
the precepts.
Yes, precepts and yes, precepts
and I remember the oil that they're using, it's highly heated. Yes, the temperatures are so high, so whereby when you eat these vegetable oils, you're going to form acrylamides. Acrylamides are carcinogenic. Carcinogens are cancer-causing agents. So at the end of the day, you're going to drop. That's why most people, with the most of these cancers in the digestive system, it's because of poor feeding. Someone may think that is eating well, yes, the food you're eating, but it's the one which is leading to that. Now, like French fries and those other oily foods, they're going to cause a lot of cholesterol in the intestine, diverticulitis, then colon cancer comes in.
How come we don't know all this information? I'm so surprised.
There should be a mass sensitization of
sensitization.
Because now cancer is becoming so very common.
Actually, as we speak, that building over there, is a new building of Cancer Institute.
The Cancer Institute.
Because the patients are increasing every day.
Yeah, sure. The problem is many times, me inclusive, we always focus on treating than the prevention part of it. Because if we can prevent, then the treatment will be just, so minute to those who are stubborn.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're big-headed, it's like a child. You tell the child you touch that saucepan, it's hot, it's gonna burn you. Refuses, you let the child touch. You come back right.
But your diet is so scary.
But it's okay.
You said you don't take dairy products, even milk.
I don't do milk. Milk, I don't do dairy products. Milk, I do nut milk. There is soy milk, cashew nut milk, almond
you put
milk.
honey, you put...
Yeah, I put honey. I don't do refined things. I don't do sugar, white sugar. Because white sugar is, we always call it sweet poison. It's having quite, a bunch of chemicals in there, which I don't want to go into details. But all refined things, if you are to do them, you can't avoid, but you have to be a bit reserved in that.
Yes. Then you talked of also chemicals.
Yeah, chemicals. Chemicals, we have very many chemicals. Cigarette smoking, it's, that is a collection of chemicals.
Yes.
And each chemical is responsible or it has the ability to cause cancer in the body. Lung cancer, cancer of the blood and all that. Then also chemicals from perfumes, chemicals from factories, because these fumes which are coming out of the car, the factories, it's not, carbon dioxide, no. Sulfur is going to be in there. Arsenic, these heavy metals, mercury is going to be in there. You inhale that, then those chemicals are going to cause mutation in the gene. Because whenever you inhale in something, we have, that defensive mechanism within us, but it's going to be overwhelmed by the chemicals. In a nutshell. Yes.
Okay. You talked of also antibiotics or infection?
In pathogens, bacteria, bacteria and viruses. Yes, they also cause
bacteria and viruses.
Yes. Like HIV, later on it will compromise your immune system. Then you'll develop like a process upon. These bacteria infections, also any infection, if it's poorly managed, at the end of the day, that organ it has affected, it's going to turn into cancer. Then hormones.
Hormones, yes.
Now with the hormones,
are they genes or they are different?
We can talk of hormones and genes, they work.
Okay, maybe we can talk about hormones, genes, and how they are related to cancer.
Okay, now with the hormones, now for instance, when you talk about hormones, we are basically looking at hormonal imbalance. Many of our ladies, when you talk about hormonal imbalance, for them they look rather at reproductive infertility. Hormonal imbalance, infertility, but yes, it can go beyond that. It can go beyond that. Mostly, how can you tell that you have hormonal imbalance? There are very many things. Your hair is brittle, you have a dry skin or an oily skin, then severe cramps.
Yes.
Severe cramps during your customary impurity.
Yes.
Then we look at those with the fibroids, cysts, ovarian cysts, and all that. At the end of the day, because with the fibroid, it's a tumor, it's benign. But when it's not taken care of, it can cause very many things, including cancer. Ovaries, because of hormonal imbalance, you're going to develop ovarian cysts or PCOS. And at the end of the day, if you don't develop ovarian torsion, then it's going to go to the end of it, which is ovarian cancer, of which also genes are in there. Some cancer is actually hereditary. So we talk about genes. Now, for instance, with the breast cancer, ovarian cancer, and all those cancers, if you have a family member who was diagnosed with, say, breast cancer, that means that, you know, there are some tests that are done, IHC, genotypes, and all that. If it happens that it's hereditary, then the people who are close in the link, they have 75% chances, if I may say, to develop any cancer. Because that means that you have a gene with a tendency to develop into malignancy. Yeah, much as in my family there could be someone who was diagnosed with breast cancer and maybe passed on or whatever the case. It's not automatic that I will develop breast cancer or testicular cancer or prostate and all that, ovarian and all that. But again, now it will come back to my immune system. When my immune system is down, then I'm more likely to come to that. Then that's why we also have been, even these simple conditions can also lead to cancer, like ulcers. Anyway, okay, to a layman's language, we would say ulcers. Yeah, that H. pylori induced ulcers, because ulcers medically those are wounds. Wounds. Now, you know, with our people, you know, when they talk about ulcers, they are talking about, you know, the H. pylori induced ulcers. But again, it's not only H. pylori that can cause ulcers internally.
H. pylori is
a
bacteria which causes ulcers.
In our digestive system. But there are very many things that can cause that. Medication, drugs can also cause that. Then the foods we eat can also cause that. If they are too acidic, they can also cause cancer, or rather ulcers internally. Then also eating heavily spiced food, because a lot of acid is going to be secreted in the tummy to break that down. So all that will lead to cancer. Now, how does ulcers lead to that? Because it won't come straight away. You have ulcers, at the end of the day you're going to develop cancer. No. It's, you know, a slow and gradual process. Even malaria, you know, can cause liver cancer at the end of the day. It's poor.
If pure at night.
Yes. Because always those parasites, the plasmodiums and all that, they affect, they actually, they love the liver where, you know, it's more blood. So when it's poorly managed, then at the end of the day, liver cancer will come.
I was having someone whom I was talking to, and he was saying that he was fat. And they say that the one who was the person who was helping her in reducing weight was telling her to that they remove some fat from maybe the stomach, this area around the tongue here, and put it maybe in other parts, maybe the bum. Or they can remove it and maybe do away so that you can lose weight in some parts and have it in other parts. Is that scaring her? Is that technology or it can...
Actually, with that, I would say, I don't know whatever they wanted to do, but I would say, you know, people who are obese, I always tell them not to, because for them they focus at the quickest means to get rid of the excess fats. But now that's wrong. You are looking at the signs and symptoms, but what has caused the obesity? That's what you have to fight. But many of the people who are actually with obesity, it may not even be poor feeding. People who are eating junk food. No. What if it's a mutation? It's actually hereditary. It's with the genes. Two, because most people who are obese, whom I've seen, you find someone will tell you that I eat actually 2 fingers of banana in the morning. These boiled bananas in the morning, and maybe beans or peanut soup. Ate that at 8 a.m. But by 5 p.m. the person is not feeling hungry at all. But at the same time the person is growing fat.
Yes.
So whatever, and such kind of people, they are always, given, medication to reduce on the cholesterol and all that, but of which it's not helping. Find out the cause.
Find out
What is causing that? Is it a slow metabolic rate? Your metabolism is so slow. You eat little food, but the rate at which digestion is taking place is very slow. Most of the food, converted into fats and all that. So it's leading to that. That's why someone is eating one banana and at the end of the day is growing fat. But again, now there are those who eat a lot of food and
Yes.
they are thin. So it all comes back to the metabolism and all that. So hereditary.
Cancer. Cancer is something that scares everyone.
Exactly. And people have to be scared. You have, 50-50 to get rid of it or to have it. Cancer is one of the conditions whereby it's more of malaria. You sleep under mosquito net, you won't. You don't sleep under it, mosquitoes will bite you, and at the end of the day, malaria will come in. The same thing with cancer. Follow the guidelines. But the problem is appetite. Whatever we are looking at, appetite. Our appetites are so high. Appetites are high.
So, doctor, how do you know that someone has cancer? How do you diagnose it? How can you really confirm that somebody has cancer?
Okay, depending on
Can I look at a neighbor or a family member and say, that wound may be cancerous?
That one, it's more of saying that you can look at someone and diagnose on spot that person is HIV positive.
Which is not right.
It's not right. The same thing with cancer. Unless you do some tests. You can do blood tests and look at tumor markers, but not all tumor. If someone's tumor markers are high, it can mean that that someone is having cancer. We do blood tests. We do biopsy. Yes. In diagnosing cancer, there are quite a number of tests that can be done to diagnose. You can't look at someone and right here you tell that person is having cancer.
Yes.
But much as you can tell that, but you have to confirm. There are tests that we can do. We can do biopsy. That's they take off a tissue from the affected area and take it to the lab where pathologists can look at that. Then they find out, the abnormal cells and all that. Then also blood tests. Blood tests to look at tumor markers and any other abnormalities. Yes.
So do I do it in any place or I have to do it? Because usually they tell us that some infections or some diseases, it wouldn't be good for you to go anywhere. It would be good for you to go in specific places or labs.
Actually, not all labs carry out tumor markers, and not all hospitals, I would say. Because now you may go to a clinic. No, they are not going to do...
Actually, even sometimes you find some pharmacies, they create some small room and they say, come for consultation.
Yeah, you can go for the consultation, but they want to do histology there. They may be doing, it can be a laboratory, but when it's not well equipped. Of course, they can guide you. They can guide you what to do. Because it's mostly a physician who will request for those tests.
Okay. So it is advisable that when you suspect something, we should go.
Exactly. Then another
what
thing,
should we look at? What could be the signs we can look at?
Actually,
before you tell us how maybe we can prevent, what could be the signs before we come for this?
When you talk about signs, how can I tell you this? It's kind of tricky in a way that you'll never tell whether you are it's cancer or not. Now, for instance, if you have, let me say, if you have a wound, it's not healing. What if it's a diabetic wound? it's not a cancer wound. You know,
Yes.
there are similarities.
A cancer wound also doesn't heal.
Exactly.
Diabetic wound doesn't heal. And also maybe a wound in a poor immunity, it also doesn't
yeah,
heal.
it's also going to take ages. A cancer wound can heal when given the right treatment and all that. So the same with a diabetic wound at the end of the day. But again, when treatment is poorly, when the wound is poorly managed, you know, with the leg at the end of the day, it will be amputated. In case of diabetic, of a diabetic wound, and the same with cancerous wounds. If it has, you know, that's the part
So,
it has affected.
okay, apart from wounds,
Other disease, the same signs and symptoms. It's just always, you know, with
like length of time I'm having
with the
disease.
diagnosis.
So usually this cancer
Because now-
diagnosis, we leave it for doctors to.
Exactly, they have to because now, for instance, you can be having jaundice. Because someone with the liver cancer and someone with hepatic stenosis, they have the same signs and symptoms. You will never know. Is it a fatty liver disease? Is it hepatitis B? Is it liver cancer? So whereby, like most of the things we can't guess. We have to do some tests to confirm that. Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Edmond. Ladies and gentlemen, you are still with Dr. Edmond Tambaki, and he's still telling us more about cancer. Yes, before telling us about the prevention of cancer, I want us to know whether there are some cancers that can heal
Yeah, actually, cancers not
or that can respond very well, better than the others on treatment. If at all the treatment has been diagnosed, has been gotten early, and maybe they have come to you or to another doctor specialist in cancer, can they easily have a better a prognosis or a better way how they can improve for somebody's lifestyle if he has come early?
actually, yeah, the
Or
keyword
are they treated? Or
the keyword here is early.
early? Yes.
Yes, because when cancer is discovered in early stages, it can be, you know, done away with. It can be done away with. But you know, most of the people will go to the hospital. You know, now the problem is when someone is not feeling well, we self-medicate. Constipation. They tell you do this, you do that, this and that. When you're not seeking medical advice, at the end of the day, things will be off the map. So by the time they diagnose, what if they told that, oh, it's colon cancer, it's stage 4. Now we are looking at terminal stages. Terminal stages are stages in cancer whereby the chances of survival are minimal. And reversing the cancer, they are very minimal. However, you know, with the improvement, you know, in the treatment and technology, yeah, we have seen people reversing. Yeah, stage 3, we can say, okay, we could be having some chances, but stage 4, probably, yeah, we are on the other side of the coin. So the earlier you diagnose and you start treating cancer, the better. The higher the chances of.
But the challenge is that someone doesn't feel like associating with the cancer. And is there a lot of stigma because you have dealt with these people more than us? I want us to talk about this stigma, and later I'll ask you about herbs. Have you heard people who have used the herbs? Some, you know, Africans believe so much in herbs because they say that even the doctors, this medicine they give us is from herbs. Are there some herbalists who can treat cancer, or in the UK there, do you hear of any?
You see, when we talk about herbs, we should never, you know, do away with our indigenous knowledge.
Yes.
Most of these drugs, probably they are derived from herbs, but a bit, you know, modernized so that they can be easily consumed by the body. So I would say that if you are to use herbs, go to a naturopathy doctor or someone who is specialized in herbs will be able to tell you that, oh, what you're dealing with, no, there is nothing that will get rid of it.
An educated person on what?
Yes, specialized in that. No, you live alone, I always say people that good wine needs no bush. You look at the best schools in this country, they have never advertised. They have never advertised. I've never had Cancer Institute, if I may say that, advertising that, oh, we are specialists, in treating cancer. You know that when I go there, they are going to treat me. I know, some naturopathy doctors, they don't advertise, but people always go there, saying that, no, since they have, I'm having this condition, I can go here and do it. But the most important thing is prevention is better than cure. You may use the herbs and it doesn't work. You may go conversion, it doesn't work.
Okay.
So you have to have, you must, actually convince yourself or teach yourself on how to prevent
Now,
to fall
Dr.
sick.
Edmond, this seems to be, because even the cure you said, it is 50-50.
Yes.
And you emphasize that we should have early diagnosis, so it means that we need to get a behavior of seeking for medical treatment whenever we feel unwell.
Exactly.
So now, to me, what I'm getting that the most important thing we have here is the prevention.
It's prevention.
Yes. But again, as you are telling me prevention, you talked of something with the genes. Prevention in terms of chemicals. Then prevention with food. Maybe I think you may split it. I know we shall have more on food because food is what we can really do more. Apart from food, can we do any prevention of genes, of infections, of chemicals? At least what I remember on prevention say that whenever you have a disease like ulcers, let's get proper treatment and quick treatment.
Exactly.
Yes. But for hormones and chemicals, maybe I can allow you to.
Okay,
yes.
now with the chemicals, yeah, we can prevent that. How? Don't smoke. Period.
Smoking.
Yes, you're preventing.
But they tell us that you people who go in those countries where it is too cold, sometimes someone is prompt to smoke because of coldness.
It's a thing of the mind. I don't smoke, but I've been in cold environment. It all comes to, there is a certain word I wanted to use. It all comes to self-control. You see, I'm a Seventh Adventist. Every individual on earth is having this ingredient embedded in him or her. It's called self-control. And you are the one to activate it yourself. Nobody will ever activate it for you. It's called, should I go and smoke? Go through it. Smoking, I'm damaging my lungs. They are not yours, they are for God. Go take a glass of hot water. Go have a cup of tea. You are in a situation whereby, now for instance, we are talking about bathrooms. For God's sake, why would you construct a house by the roadside? All the time cars are passing by. Now what is separating you and the road is just your fence. Let us be, a little bit far inside. But now we are in town, let us try to eat foods which having antioxidants. You reach home, we have been in the city and all that. Try to have, some fruits which are going to break down, help the body to boost the immune system of the body, in order to prevent the free radicals from accumulating into the bloodstream. All of us have, those free radicals, which later on will turn into cancer. But the rate at which we hope our bodies to expel that out, that one will determine whether we are to develop cancer or not. So when it comes to chemicals and all that,
So those free radicals are within us.
yes. Now these free radicals
It depends on our lifestyle that is going to ignite.
them. So now these free radicals, we can talk about dead cells, dead tissue, dead muscles, bodies. We can look at that as the free radicals in our bodies. But now, how are we expelling them out? Now, and also, you know, other byproducts in the body. You have inhaled all those perfumes and all that. Again, you go back home, your feeding is so poor. You're eating chips and all that.
And for us, we think that when someone gives you chips, it's when we are feeding nicely.
Actually, whenever I do look at people, you know, eating French fries and all that highly spicy food, I'm always saddened, you know, down my hand. Like, oh, I wish they knew.
When you don't go into these high class restaurants here where they take food and you don't go there, you mean?
No. If I'm to go there, of course, you know, there is also vegan food. But I rarely eat in hotels. I prepare my food from home. I prepare my food from home. Because I have to mind about, you know, what I'm using, the oils that are being used. You know, most of these refined oils, you know, they have a low smoking point. Low smoking point here meaning that most of us, you know, these refined oils that we use, a few minutes or seconds, it starts, you know, oozing out smoke in the saucepan when you're spicing your food. So the moment it does that, you know, there is a chemical change taking place. Then later on, because of, you know, the lengthy time we are spending boiling the oil, acrylamide, you know, there's a chemical called acrylamide and others which are going to be formed, which are cancer causing. So it's always, let us, you know, why, let's ask ourselves, our grandparents lived longer. In the, I think, is it in the 60s, 50s? We didn't hear about cancer. But why now? Because of our lifestyle. We don't take life serious. We don't take life serious. Our parents, our grandparents, you know, were so critical when it comes to life. We always don't want to eat, you know, this local food, if I may say. Always want, you know, high-end class food. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, we're all gonna die. But the way we are dying, it matters. Yeah, I don't want on my grave the word to be written there, cause of death is appetite. No, I don't.
So appetite is the major...
Appetite when it comes to feeding and all that.
This is so serious. So there is someone who was saying that even some of these regions, they may also be causing cancer, but now I think the regions how?
Most of them which are genetically modified, yes, and also, you know, most of these foods are highly sprayed with the chemicals. So that's why I'm saying that there is no way we can run from that. Always God is there for us, protecting us. But again, we shouldn't take that for granted. We should also play our part. Yes, food is heavily sprayed. What can you do? What measures are you putting in place to reduce on the chemicals in there? And also boosting the immune system to cut down on the carcinogens.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. We are almost ending this. We are just getting one thing or two things from the prevention. One, early treatment or early seeking of treatment from qualified people. Then another thing Dr. Edmond is emphasizing is appetite. Appetite, alongside other things as you have watched. Dr. Edmond, as you are finishing up, any closing remarks?
My closing remarks is, being a Seventh-day Adventist, there is this acronym which we always use in medical missionary or medical ministry. It's called the New Start. If you follow that, probably the rate at which you'll be falling sick will be minimized by almost 90 to 100%. New Start, the word New Start, NEWSTART. That is
N is nutrition.
Nutrition. Then exercise, nutrition. You should mind about whatever you put in your mouth. Nutrition. What you eat determines whether you're gonna be healthy or not. Then exercise. We have to exercise. We have to burn down
now, like
fats.
You who has a lot of things to read and research. Do you have time for exercise?
Yeah, I do walk a lot. I do brisk walking. A day I walk around 30 kilometers.
30 kilometers?
Yeah, within. Just
and
walking
when
from
people
one place
think
to
you,
another.
they may think you don't have transport.
Exactly, but it doesn't matter, and I don't mind. Can park a car somewhere and walk. When you reach your office, try to use the stairs, not the lift.
Okay.
Yes.
That is exercise.
Then exercise. Then we have water.
Water.
Let us get used to having plenty of water. 3 liters a day is so good, and clean water.
Clean water.
Yeah, many times because we are living
3
in
liters.
3 liters. Now when we are
You mean you can take 3 liters? Won't you every time be going for
no,
short
actually, the initial stages you'll be frequenting the washroom, but later on you won't. Actually, in order to get that target, many times also take water the wrong way. Every hour take a glass of water. That doesn't mean that you get a full glass and you gallop it all at once. No. Take a sip, gargle, then swallow. In an hour, 1 glass will be done. Now, if every hour or after every 2 hours,
gargle for what purpose?
yeah, the water has to be with the same level, in the same temperature with the body. So you gargle it in the mouth. It gets to that body temperature. Then you swallow. And don't do cold water. Neither too hot water. Let it be lukewarm.
Lukewarm.
Yes.
Cold water is not good.
It's not cold. We are denaturing our enzymes, and also hot ones. It's having its consequences.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have the S, that is sunshine. Sunshine is so very good. We need the vitamin D. That vitamin D has a lot of. It's responsible for over 3,000 chemical reactions in the body. Vitamin D. We don't get vitamin D from there, but the sun activates vitamin D, and that activation takes place on our skin. It shouldn't be too hot.
Okay.
Just be around 30 minutes. Those who are brown, light skinned, rather, it can take 10-20 minutes under sunshine. That's enough.
Then the dark.
It can be 30 minutes,
30
but
minutes.
not more than that. Yes.
Okay. Well, at what time of the day?
That
like
is
in here in East Africa.
Sunrise.
Yes.
From sunrise up to around 10 a.m. Then also from 4 p.m. until sunset. That is the best time. But all this other time, because when you talk about radiation, that is radiation, the ultraviolet, it can also cause cancer of the skin. When it's too very hot, it's going to damage the skin. And at the end of the day, cancer will come in. So we should also be mindful, but we need the sunshine.
Sunshine.
Then T, that is temperance.
Temperance is control.
Yeah, it's control.
Because you talked about appetite.
Appetite, yes. So we have to control. That is self control. We have to activate that ingredient within us. The food you eat, don't eat a lot of food. Don't eat less. You have to eat enough. Whatever you're doing, don't do it in excess. Just do enough. Yeah, a day has its own. That's why the sun will never shine from morning.
How do I know enough food now?
And now when you're eating food, when you reach you're reaching a point of satiety, it's when you have, like, maybe say you have 10 pieces of Irish potato on your plate, and you have eaten 4, and by the time it comes to your mind that if I eat more 3, I'm going to be satisfied. By the time that comes to your mind, you're satisfied. Don't eat the other one. The remaining gap is for water. 30 minutes later, you take your water, you'll be so fine. The point of satiety.
But now you have prepared food, and maybe the food is still delicious. We have to leave it.
Now that's where temperance comes in, and too, also the time at which we eat our foods. We do cleaning day in and day out, so it is with our body. By 10 p.m. our body shuts down. It starts house cleaning. Now I pity those who eat food past 10 p.m. most of the food is not digested. Noxious gases are formed and all that, hence weakening our immune system. Because by 10, most of the energies in the body, they are reserved for cleaning, getting rid of the dead cells, dead tissues, muscles, and all that. Then that's why in the morning, when you wake up, you take a glass of water and you're going to the toilet. Not those, the waste products you take to the washroom. Not all of it is undigested food. No. We have all that, the dead cells, dead muscles and tissues. They are all part of that. And that house cleaning takes place between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. That's why when you eat food at 11, you're going to wake up when you're feeling fatigued. Why? The body, will be into a conflicting that should I leave this food to rot and I continue with my work, or I hope this, this person to clean. So the rate of digestion is going to be low.
So these hours from 10 to 4.
We are not supposed to eat food. And 2, when you eat food, you're not supposed to sleep immediately, like what people raised do. You eat food and you go to bed immediately, because you're eating food while watching news. The moment food is done, you go to bed, you sleep. That one is going to cause, it's the leading cause of itis, hernia, gastritis, and all that.
Yes, Dr. Edmond.
Yes.
There is what we hear on social media that for gentlemen, especially prostate cancer, for somebody to prevent prostate cancer, they needed to have a number of sexual intercourse, maybe 28 times in a month. Other people say 21, others 28. What is the right number? Is there a number that is needed to prevent prostate cancer?
You see, when God actually was very wise when he said that we should avoid excesses, temperance. Let it be sufficient enough, but not in excess. Whereby, you see, what do sperms comprise? Zinc. During ejaculation, you're taking most of your zinc out, and you're not replacing it. That's why most people with BPH, that is in like the prostate gland, and those with the prostate cancer, when you do look for the zinc levels, they are always low. So whereby you're having the 20 or 30 times of sexual intercourse in a month, but how are you replacing your zinc in the body? The foods we eat are highly polluted and all that, so the zinc levels are low. What I would encourage people do, take a lot of zinc. Do pumpkin seeds, they have a lot of zinc.
Pumpkins, and they are there in this, but I don't know, in supermarket.
And you can buy pumpkin. And you get the seeds, roast them, and you do. We have in zinc, or you can go and get supplements in the pharmacy.
So the zinc kind of prevents cancer?
Yes, especially the prostate.
So it may not be true.
It's having a link. Zinc deficiency is having a link to prostate cancer and all that.
So instead it is the opposite.
Exactly.
So listeners, you have heard. It is not that the more you have sex many times, 28 times, you're likely to be free from prostate cancer. Thank you so much. That was temperance.
Temperance. Then we have air, meaning pure air. We should do deep breathers, and we should have quality air to breathe in. Sit under trees and all that. So the air, don't go for recycled air. A fan, air conditioner. Try to get that natural feeling out of the air. Then our rest. We have to rest. Have ample time to rest. Let your mind rest a few.
What of people who are maybe doing online course, working, not having study leaves?
Yeah, but still, when you're tired. You have to rest. There is a difference between resting and sleeping. During the day when you're exhausted, you can't have a 30-minute nap. You can't have a 30-minute nap. Always try to learn to have a rest, to rest your body. Then T, trust in God. Actually, trust in God should even be the first. Whatever you do, ask yourself, is it pleasing God? Because the body that is going to fall sick, it's not yours. When you go to the Bible, Paul was telling the Corinthians, asking them, know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost? Now, if your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, try to take care of it. Trust in God in each and every
Even the Bible has some of these things.
Exactly. If
Now,
we were to read the Bible, we wouldn't even
have
be...
all these things.
Yes.
The last question and final one is that many people, they talk about that this fasting, intermittent fasting, is so good, especially in building up the immunity of the body, body weight, even intellectual wise. Can you throw some small light?
Actually, intermittent fasting is so good. It also helps our bodies to rejuvenate. It's like giving the body
What
a break.
is it, by the way? Maybe briefly.
Okay, intermittent fasting, people do it in very many ways.
Yes.
There are those who take a period of time without having food, eating food.
Yes.
And there are those who choose to have just a specific type of food, maybe doing salads, doing only water and all that. So that one is helping the body. When you do fast, these are free radicals. Remember, these are proteins and all that. The body will turn them into useful nutrients in the body. I think next time when we get an opportunity, we shall talk about how fasting and how it helps in the recovery of the body, especially those who are sick, bedridden, cancer patients and all that.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
We have not a lot of time to talk about this fasting in details, but with Dr. Edmond has promised us time, we shall talk about it in details, because also cancer patients and all of us, we need it. Thank you so much. We have been pleased to have Dr. Edmond and me, Boris. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you. Thank you so much.
God bless you too.
Yes.
All right.
For listening.